Hi everyone. Even though it's a little bit glary here, I kind of want to not have my glasses on because I feel excited that I have hair growing back. So I have like some eyebrows now, even if they're unshaped and unkept. And I have the beginning of eyelashes. I have like black around my eyes. And so these things are only superficial, but they're also not, because they also represent, I think, regeneration of cells and good things. And I'm really happy about that. Before this chapter in my life, I think this is me feeling a little bit, I'm saying this now because I feel a little bit uncomfortable about sometimes I feel uncomfortable about my videos. I'd never done them before this chapter in my life. I don't necessarily mean you have to have a reason to do them, but I definitely have felt at different points in this experience that I've had things that I wanted to share. Last time was very much more me asking you guys for advice and guidance, and I just want to say that I received so many incredible messages, like personal messages and comments and likes and whatever. Not that whatever, none of them are whatever, all of them are amazing, but some people shared some really personal parts of their life with me, I guess because I had shared myself and shown myself in a vulnerable place, and it made people either out of their own support, or I don't really know why, but whatever the reasons were, I was incredibly touched and moved by things that people shared with me, and it really helped me turn a corner then. So I think I'm partly saying thank you, and I'm also saying I think it's interesting to note that openness and honesty and vulnerability helps us turn corners. So I think that's the reason why I wanted to do a video today, to talk about that, because I noticed that more recently as well with stuff I was going through. And I also would like to just quickly say a few things about my health, because I haven't done that before except talk about the fact that I've had treatment, and I'd like to share a little bit. So a couple of weeks after giving birth to our beautiful baby, who we called Eden, we found out I had breast cancer, and it obviously completely shattered our worlds. And I went, I wouldn't be able to kind of summarize what I've been through since then, but understandably it was life-shattering, and nobody ever wants to have a life-shattering experience. Actually, before I go on that tangent, I want to just finish so we found that out, and we packed up our lives within a week or so and moved from Israel back to Australia. I'd been living in Tel Aviv for 10 years, Nick for a few. He'd never lived in Australia before, so we've got new baby, breast cancer diagnosis, changing country, a lot of big stuff. And again, before I go on another tangent, I just want to say that I've been through a lot of treatment, as you know, and I'm actually continuing my treatment, but I don't have breast cancer anymore. And I think that's important to say because, I guess it's obvious why it's important. So all the treatment I'm having now is to make sure that my body doesn't develop a tumor again. So I'm doing I've done chemo, and I'm doing radio, and I'll be doing a couple of other things. And I'm very excited to be exploring alternative health as ways of helping my body be at the best health it can be. And I feel fortunate to have that opportunity, and I also feel that while I'm trying to look after my body in its health, I guess I have been someone who's tried to, not just health-wise, but in terms of my being or personality, I've always wanted to try and be the best that I can be, and that's kind of challenging, and sometimes we can be and sometimes we're not. But when you have a life-shattering experience, which nobody ever wants to experience, but when you do, you actually discover that you have an opportunity to become, they say like an even better version of yourself, but it's part of the healing. And also, you have to be open to it, but development and growth comes from suffering. I think that's like a Buddhist belief, but I think it's also true that we don't really grow from periods of our lives where like everything's happy and amazing, and which is a really that's what we want to be in those times where everything's happy and amazing, but that's not where we grow. We grow when things are hard, and if we take the opportunity to grow from those things, we can actually probably enjoy the happy stuff even more, because we're committed to becoming the best versions of who we want to be, and life gets better. So I just want to share something that I experienced in the last couple of months about that, because I feel what's my intention for sharing it? My intention for sharing it is, I think that when you go through really difficult things, you can get to kind of dark places, and you have the opportunity to rise from them. And when you rise from them, you're learning a lot more than before you went down there. And I guess I want to share that because I feel that it's stuff that people can maybe grow from too. So that's my intention for sharing it. And the main thing is that I definitely crashed. Like, I think all the different things that were going on. Also, Nick and I had pretty much just gotten married and just been pregnant, and only met a couple of years ago. So you're talking about a very young relationship as well. So we probably had too much to cope with. And a friend of mine made me laugh the other day when we were talking about how I didn't have a nervous breakdown, but I felt that I almost did, maybe. And we were laughing, saying, big tick, like, what an achievement. I didn't have a nervous breakdown. Anyway, I'm not sure if everyone can laugh with that as much as we were, but it is a pretty big tick. So when things were really difficult, I became very focused on myself. And I became very focused on my needs and what I was experiencing and how difficult things were for me. And I was getting more and more involved in me. It was kind of an obsession in a way, but I guess it was partly there was so much difficulty that had happened that you can kind of understand it. But at some point, it started working against me. So it started making it more difficult for me to get through what I was going through. But I got so into that space that I needed help to get out of it. And I am extremely fortunate, and this is something I would encourage everyone to try and create for themselves, to surround yourself with people who value authenticity, and people who value honesty, and people who have the courage, because it takes courage to be authentic. Okay, so I needed my inner people to share with me things about myself that they were seeing in me that were really difficult for me to hear. And the turning point, and it was quite a big turning point, and this is what I kind of want to share because it may help other people. was me being courageous enough and strong enough to hear what they were saying and not just like defend and spit it back. Hear it, and actually hearing it can be quite painful. So it's being strong enough to feel that pain, but trusting of the people around you, because if you don't trust the people around you and what they're sharing with you, if they ever give you feedback, basically, if you're not hearing it, it means that you're either not trusting them, and then I just wonder, like, why are they your nearest and dearest, and or you're not trusting yourself. And if you're not trusting yourself, what can I say about that? If you're not trusting yourself, you need to kind of look at why, but life will never be as good as it can be if you're in that place. This might be a little bit out there and a little bit difficult to like understand, or maybe it's really not difficult and easy and everyone knows it. I don't know. But once I got to a point where I was like, I'm going to listen to what they're telling me, and what they were telling me were things that were kind of sharing with me things about me and how I was handling the situation that I was in, things that I was doing that weren't helping me, things that I was doing that weren't helping my situation or my family. And I was kind of angry to hear it. I was like, really? Do you know what I'm dealing with? Again, or me. And once I realized this whole me thing is not getting me anywhere. In fact, I'm feeling down and I'm not able to move forward, and I'm stuck. And why am I stuck? I've never been this stuck. This is like an awful feeling. So I thought, I'm just going to listen to them, and I'm going to trust them, because I do trust them. And when I did that, and I took it in and felt the pain that it felt, but once I just decided to do that, I didn't need to feel the pain for very long. And it's like when they say, when you look at something, if you have the courage to look at it, it becomes less scary, and then it just disappears. And I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So I finally was just like, okay, I'm going to look at this stuff that they're saying to me. They obviously have my best interest at heart, and I'm going to listen to them. And when I listened to them, I realized that there was a small part that was like, I think I know what they mean, and it's true. And once I was like, it's true, I could drop my shoulders, the pain went away, and everything just got easier. It was about accepting the stuff in me that was difficult, and allowing and trusting the people around me to help move me. And I thank them so much, and myself, for helping me like get around that corner. So that's pretty much I hope that made sense. That's pretty much what's happened for me in the last few weeks. As time was passing, I felt like the power of it was less strong in me, and I didn't want too much time to pass without sharing this with you. So I do hope that what I've just shared is in some ways helpful for some people to hear. I also just really, my intention for this video was for it to be an uplifting one. I hope it's uplifting and makes people feel like it's definitely possible to come out of difficult places or create a better existence when things are kind of a little bit shit. So that's all from me. I hope everybody's still listening. It's 14 minutes. Okay, bye.